Did you know that blue pens have several different chemicals to make blue? Today we're going to do an experiment called chromatography. All you need is some coloured pens, a glass partly full of water, toilet roll or kitchen roll. Cut your kitchen roll or toilet roll so it fits in the glass. Make a spot about 2 centimetres up from the bottom of the paper with each pen. We're using blue pens, but you could use a different colour or a mixture of colours.
So we've got our bit of paper with our 3 blue dots, and we've got a tiny little bit of water on the bottom of the glass. Now we're going to put the paper into the water, but what we want is the bottom of the paper to get wet, but it not to touch. We don't want the blue dots to go under the water, we just want the bottom of the paper to go into the water. Leave it in, and what's going to happen is the paper soaks up with the water and the water will drag up the ink. Now you can see on the right hand side we've got a blue dot and it's not moving at all, and that's because that one is the Sharpie pen. The Sharpie pen is a permanent marker, so it won't wash off with water, whereas the other 2 pens are water soluble, and so when they go in the water drags them up.
And this is our chromatograph.
So here are 2 examples of homemade chromatographs. On this side we've got black pens, and you can see that this black is made up by a kind of red colour and a browny colour and a green coloured pigment. Whereas this black, we've got some black pigment, some dark blue pigment and some turquoise pigment, all to make the black pen that made this spot. And then this one was our Sharpie, which isn't water soluble, although it does have a little bit of blue pigment that must be a little bit water soluble because it's been dragged up our paper here. And here's the experiment that Ben just did. You can see that this one has a dark blue and a light blue pigment that make up this blue pen. We've got a very turquoise pigment and a darker blue pigment making up this. So this one's almost like a green pigment and a blue pigment to make this blue colour. And this Sharpie is really not soluble in water at all. The blue dye in here would maybe move if we used ethanol or acetone. So if you wanted to try a Sharpie with something like nail varnish remover instead of water, you might see it drag the colour up. But this one's not water soluble, and so it doesn't move up the paper.
Scientists use this technique to separate different chemicals. Now it's time for you to give it a try.